Donald Trump's press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, was visibly annoyed this morning during a Fox News interview when the two hosts surprised her by whipping out devastating polling for Donald Trump regarding his economic mismanagement. And Leavitt struggled on camera to come up with a compelling explanation as to why that's the case. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to talk about in this video. As you know, Karoline Leavitt is the most MAGA of Donald Trump's MAGA press secretaries, and she's usually, I think she was probably expecting a softball interview from these Fox News hosts. Again, she's very combative, she's very confrontational with the vast majority of media, but, you know, Fox News it gives you a home turf advantage, and yet, even though they weren't happy to do it, these two Fox News hosts actually hit Leavitt with really bad polling for Donald Trump regarding the economy. They were visibly nervous in doing so, but you could tell that Leavitt was not happy to be asked such a question, and so she deflected rather than give a substantive response. So we're going to play this clip and unpack it together.
And our new Fox News polling shows that people perhaps are concerned with how things are going. This is as of March 14th. Those that say they disapprove, 56%, more than half. Those who approve of the president's handling of the economy is at 43%. And in that same polling, we asked about the most important issue facing the country today. And top of the list is inflation. And the economy is number two, and jobs. Those are first and second as it goes down to political division and preservation of democracy. Is the president doing enough to answer the needs and demands of the American voter when it comes to the economy and lowering prices?
The president and his economic team are working on this effort every single day. And the president is not only trying to fix the mess created by the previous administration's incompetence and reckless spending, he is trying to fix decades of unfair trade practices that have ripped our country off, that have sent jobs overseas, and that have forced.
So in other words, Karoline Leavitt is blaming President Biden. That's it. And it's so funny, too, to see the nervousness of these two Fox News hosts in question, you know, asking the question about this. Like, you can hear the stammering. They don't want to have to ask the Trump administration about bad polling, particularly on the economy. It seems that perhaps people are concerned. No. Objectively, they're concerned, according to your own damn poll, Fox News host. There's no perhaps about it. It is objectively true that people are not happy about it. And they would never couch that sort of language if, they were dealing with a member of the Biden White House, but they feel the need to pull their punches. Leavitt did not handle it well. I mean, Leavitt did not handle it well in the substance, okay? She was annoyed, yes, but she pivoted quickly. It's all Joe Biden's fault. I don't know how much longer they think they can trot that excuse out. I have no doubt, with respect to the MAGA loyal who believe that Trump is a God king, that they can trot that excuse out forever, regardless of their material conditions. But there's no indication that that has an infinite shelf life, so to speak. And quite frankly, Democrats should be pouncing on this even more than what they have been. But there you have it. I mean, she's being confronted with the fact that her boss is polling on the number one issue to most Americans, and on the issue he used to have an outsized, unjustified advantage on, the economy, is now in the toilet, and she has no good answer for it. But Fox obviously doesn't want to press her on that and say, well, Biden's been out of office for 2 months. You guys said that when bad stuff happened on his watch, it was his fault, no matter where we were in his administration. So that logic, we have to hold Trump to the same standard, especially when Trump creates his own standard by saying on day one, he'll get rid of inflation and economic concerns because he's so damn good. And we're well past day one. We're, into the 70s at this point. So what do you say about that? That's not going to happen, of course. But here is, but we've got some other clips to play from this interview as well. Starting with this one.
Elon Musk, at the direction of President Trump, and President Trump's entire cabinet is trying to save democracy. The United States of America will cease to exist. Our government will fail if we continue to go down the road of bankruptcy that we have been heading on for decades, spending trillions and trillions of dollars on wasteful and useless priorities that don't suit the Americans' people's interests.
So Donald Trump added more trillions and trillions of dollars to the national debt than any president, including Joe Biden. Donald Trump added $8 trillion to the national debt during his first 4 years, the single greatest contribution in a presidential term. So he's not fiscally conservative. He's fiscally profligate. That's not a matter of opinion. If you disagree, you're just objectively wrong because we're right. And so, again, this is kind of a bullshit excuse. Doge, there's no evidence that Doge has been saving the American people any meaningful sum of money. It's just a meme at this point. they have failed to produce the evidence every which way. Now, in this last clip, Leavitt is asked about Donald Trump's recent indications that he will seek to run for a third term and violate the Constitution. And this is her unhinged response.
So as you know, Caroline, the president a couple of times over the last few days has floated this idea of a third term, which the 22nd Amendment doesn't allow, but he's certainly talking about it. He talked to NBC News about it, and then he was asked about it on Air Force One on the way back from Mar-a-Lago last night. Listen here.
I don't want to talk about a third term now because no matter how you look at it, we got a long time to go. We have a long time. You know, we have almost 4 years to go. And that's a long time. But despite that, so many people are saying, you've got to run again. They love the job we're doing. Most importantly, they love the job we're doing.
Now, of course, the 22nd Amendment was passed in the wake of 4 terms of Franklin Roosevelt's presidency. It was Republicans who pushed it in the first place, saying that'll never happen again. It took just over 3 years to pass and ratify that amendment. So if the president hopes to change it, it would seem to me time is running out already.
Well, it's funny to me that journalists ask the president this question. He gives an honest and candid answer, and then they spiral about his answer. He was asked this, and you heard him, and he's right. People love the job this president is doing. And as he said, we are focused on this term. We have 4 more years.
So again, this is why I'm saying it's all about owning the libs. I have no doubt that there is, yes, that authoritarian impulse. Donald Trump does not want to give up power. He didn't want to give up power the first time he had it, right? That was what led to the fake elector scheme. It's what led to the January 6th insurrection. So it's proof positive. We know it's not just words. It's not just rhetoric. We know from his actions that he does not want to give up power willingly. So he is more of a liability in this respect than any other president. That's just objectively true. But they also delight in this. You see the smile on her face. She goes from annoyed when being asked about his dismal polling to delighting in this. They hate liberals. You have to understand this. Democrats, liberals, minorities, marginalized groups. You have to understand they hate you. The Trump administration hates you. They loathe you. They want a world in which they get to do and say whatever they want, whenever they want, about whomever they want, with impunity. And the law and constitutions or the Constitution and ethical requirements don't apply to them. These people, Karoline Leavitt, imagine in 2024 or 2023, because she was the Trump campaign spokesperson, imagine if Kamala Harris had said or suggested that she wouldn't leave office or that President Biden wouldn't leave office, regardless of the outcome of the 2024 election. What would Karoline Leavitt be saying? She wouldn't be smiling. She'd be very upset, and she'd be demagoguing the hell out of this issue. And she knows that. She's not stupid. She just does a hell of an impression. She's smart enough to know that she's being a profound hypocrite, and she delights. They love this. They know it's their superpower. They love the hypocrisy. They revel in it. They hate you so much. They want to trigger you so much. They want to give you anxiety so much because they have a deep and profound contempt for you, for liberals, for blue cities, blue states, progressives, Democrats, women, marginalized groups, minorities, the media. If you're not part of the cult, they hate you. And quite frankly, there's a deep contempt for the cult members as well, which is why they very rarely deliver for the cult members. They love it. It's so funny, you know. He gave an honest answer that, yeah, he might seek an unconstitutional and illegal third term. And I mean, why are people like, they love it. And this is why I genuinely believe that the Democratic Party also has to channel some of that nature as well, in the sense that I will tell you that I think that Democratic politicians need to start imitating some of that energy back. I think some Democratic politicians need to seek to own the cons and trigger and troll and mock and belittle from positions of power just to teach MAGA a lesson. If we're going to have standards, they have to apply to everybody. And if you are going to create the standard in which these sorts of things can be flouted to own the libs, then I think Democrats have the right to do it too. Now, is that a good idea in the long run? No, but this isn't either, right? The whole thing is, our system only works if it's predicated on reciprocal good faith, which means both Democrats and Republicans, both, not one, both, have to adhere to norms and principles and tradition. And right now, it's not working, even though Democrats are largely maintaining their problem. Like, President Biden didn't flirt with not leaving office as a consequence of the 2024 election. He didn't suggest, holding on to power. President Obama didn't suggest doing the same thing in 2016, not running for a third term or not seeking to transfer power to Donald Trump. It just didn't happen. But they're doing it And they're smiling because they love it. They love the hypocrisy. They know that Democrats will never, ever on MSNBC suggest, yeah, this 2-term Democratic president might run for a 3rd term, and no, he might not give up power. Sorry, cons. Sorry if you don't like it, losers. They know that. They delight in it. They hate you. They have contempt for you, and they're hoping that you won't politically punish them in the next election. So why don't you do that? In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.